let's go down for the welcome to country, followed by the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to turn your attention to a very special welcome to country to be performed by Ashley Saltner Jr.
Aga Nabal Nabal, Wogarugaba Gabal Milden, Gurumbubri Yamrun, Yinabal Dunyari, Naya Naya Nayari Vanaya. Hello and good evening, everyone. On behalf of my Wogarugaba people, traditional custodians of Gurumbubra Townsville and Yamlin, Magnetic Island, I'd like to welcome you all here this evening for tonight's international women's soccer match between the Australian Matildas and New Zealand Ferns. It's a pleasure not only for my Wogarugaba people, but the Townsville community and North Queensland region to be hosting such a match. I'd like to wish both teams the best of luck for tonight's game and everyone here a great evening. Once again, welcome and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please stand for the national anthem of New Zealand and Australia. Please welcome from the band of the 1st Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, musician Chantel Anderson.
God of nations at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voices we entreat, God defend our free land. God Pacific's triple star, from the shafts of strife and war, make her praises heard afar. God defend New Zealand. Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
We'll have the lineups and kickoff after these messages.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
There is the Matildas coach, Tony Gustafsson. Pressure on him, 20 matches in charge. He's lost 10 of them so far, including that early exit at the quarterfinal stage of the Asian Cup. While it's another coach who's coached in Australia with Canberra, the Czech Jitka Klimkova, who also spent time in America in the youth system there with the national under-19 and under-20 sides, who's at the helm of the football Ferns. Klimkova becoming the first ever full-time coach of the New Zealand women's football team. As our two captains make their way to the middle for the toss with our Japanese referee, Miss Asaka. Well, it's been a long time between drinks for New Zealand against Australia, and this is the side that hopefully Tony Gustafsson is hoping can do the job. Lydia Williams earns her 98th cap in goal. She's looking to equal Barbieri's record of 34 clean sheets for the Matildas. A back four to be expected. In midfield, the one big surprise, Katrina Gorry. Just 7 months after the birth of her son Harper, she returns to the middle of the park, while up front Sam Kerr, the all-time leading scorer with 56 international goals, leads the line and wears the captain's armband. For the Kiwis, a surprise with Victoria Essen picked in goal. ahead of the very experienced Erin Naylor. Ria Percival is in the middle of the park wearing the number 2 shirt, earning her 161st cap for the Football Ferns. That's an all-time national record. And there are 3 A-League women's players in the starting 11. Paige Satchell in attack alongside Hannah Wilkinson. And Claudia Bunge, champion for the 2nd time in a row with Melbourne victory, makes her 8th start for the New Zealanders in the centre of defence. Let's head down now to a moment's silence before kick-off as we pay tribute to all the victims of conflict around the world, and most notably at the moment, of course, in Ukraine. The football communities all around the world are affected by this.
Football Australia stands in solidarity with the victims of conflict around the world, especially the present and ongoing conflict in Ukraine. On behalf of players, officials and fans, we offer a moment of respect for those who have either been displaced, injured or killed by conflict, and especially the children who are victims of the conflict. Football Australia joins forces in the call for peace to prevail. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it has been 27.5 years since New Zealand last defeated the Matildas. It came back in October 1994. Wendy Sharp at the double against an Alison Foreman goal for the Matildas, a 2-1 loss. Since then, 26 victories and 3 draws in favour of the Matildas. Our mascot delivers the match ball to Koizumi Asaka, now Asian Confederation referee from Japan. She's being assisted by Laura Moya and Lauren Hargrave. The assistant referees, 4th official Kanematsu Haruna, also of Japan. Special moment for Katrina Gorry. More than 2 years since her last cap. Since then, a lot has changed in her life. 14 months out from the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, in which Australia and New Zealand will co-host the biggest single sporting event on the women's international sporting calendar. This evening, preparations begin in earnest for these 2 sides. And it's the Kiwis immediately onto the front foot. I'm joined by Grace Gill in commentary. Grace, we're expecting a fiercely contested match, as always, between these 2 sides. The Matildas start favourites, but on recent form, we have the feeling anything could happen.
Well, Robbie, it's a pleasure to be alongside you, and it is a fierce rivalry between these 2 teams, and you'd have to say a little bit of a shaky start for the Matildas there, but they look to have their foot on the ball nice and early as well.
Hayley Razzo back with Carpenter. Now Gorry, second early touch of the football for her. Mary Fowler closed down quickly. That's a long ball forward towards Hannah Wilkinson. Ended top of the tree in the A-League women's competition in Australia this year with Melbourne City, 14 goals. Top of the tree in the scoring charts, that is. It was her compatriot, Claudia Bunge, in defence, who finished top of the tree with a grand final victory. Kennedy dispossessed, and it was an early ball forward from Olivia Chance looking for Wilkinson. All the way through to Lydia Williams, who plays a football for Arsenal in the Women's Super League. Carpenter with Razzo. The Matildas squad, more than the New Zealand squad, really a who's who of the strongest clubs in women's football these days. Mary Fowler with Montpellier now for Lyons. Ellie Carpenter down the right-hand side. They're queuing up in the middle. It goes near post towards Kaya Simon. Sam Kerr and Emily Van Egmond were also charging into the box. Mary Fowler behind them. Here's Gorry with Razzo again. Into the feet of Van Egmond. And immediately, Katrina Gorry is seeing a lot of the football. She almost gave it away there. And we were curious, Grace, as to see who would be playing that number 6 role. And it looks like it's Katrina Gorry at this stage. With Van Egmond's pushing a little higher up the pitch.
Yeah, Katrina Gorry sitting back in that role almost just unleashes Em Van Egmond to find herself a little further up the field where she is really effective. But it's interesting seeing Gorry, her first time playing international football in almost 800 days, and she's looking for the ball. She's really confidently going searching for the ball, which is what you want from your number 6. So perhaps this is with an eye that Tony Gustafsson has to answering that question around who's going to be in that 6th role for the Matildas.
And there's a fantastic early ball from Fowler for Van Egmond. And now Razzo, Hayley Razzo, looking for the opening goal inside the opening 4 minutes, and it's a gilt-edged opportunity for the Matildas to take the lead.
Oh, that's a great opportunity early there for the Matildas. The ball from Mary Fowler, just the instinctive first-time ball over the top was spectacular. Hayley Russo, she's got to finish this on this occasion. A one-on-one with the keeper, Victoria Esson, and she's got to do better with that shot.
Well, she's worked her way back from many documented serious injuries, Hayley Russo. She's playing a football for Manchester City in England these days, alongside Alana Kennedy, her compatriot. They've enjoyed success this year. They're all chasing Sam Kerr, of course, with Chelsea, although a couple of Arsenal players in this Matilda squad are getting very close as well in the English Super League. Mary Fowler, what a pass that was. First time on the left boot. A volleyed ball forward for Van Egmond. Here's Razzo again for Carpenter. So dangerous. It's a great ball in, and the header just wide from Kaya Simon.
Well, that's another chance, and 2 chances in as many minutes for the Matildas there that has gone begging. And we've seen this combination time and time again between Hayley Russo and Ellie Carpenter over years gone by. And Kaya Simon, she's just got a great leap on her. Her timing is really spectacular, and she's just needed to direct that one on goal. But that's another really good look for the Matildas.
The 2011 Julie Dolan medalist Kaya Simon. She finished with the golden boot back then as well. As well as A-League Women Young Player of the Season. She scooped the pool. Now fast forward a decade, a 110th cap for her, and close to international goal number 29. She's one of 7 players in the Matildas squad this evening to have made her international debut against New Zealand. This, the 49th meeting now between the two sides. It really does tell you how often they've played against each other. The Trans-Tasman rivalry really alive and well in this one.
Well, they are very familiar foes, the two sides, and a lot of the players really familiar with each other, either playing against each other in the A-League Women's here in Australia or overseas. You mentioned there in the Women's Super League. They know each other really well. So lots of familiar matchups and friends amongst teams and opposition.
There's Razzo, ball just behind Ellie Carpenter. They are 2 absolute live wires down that right wing as well. They're going to have their work cut out for them. The New Zealand defence on that side. Anna Green. The experienced English-born 31-year-old. She was racing to take the throw quickly. We were wondering about that matchup in midfield. Claire Wheeler is one player who's stepped out of the starting 11 from that quarter-final defeat against Korea Republic. That stunning goal from Ji So-yun. Here's Steph Catley to the feet of Sam Kerr. Catley goes again, leaves it for Gorry, who tries her luck from distance, but slices off the top of the boot.
Well, we know Gorry can hit them from that kind of distance, and she certainly likes having a strike. That's not an unfamiliar territory for her to try her luck.
She was one of the contenders for goal of the season in the A-League Women's competition. Fantastic return to competition for her with Brisbane Roar. She has, however, she'll probably follow Tony Gustafsson back to Sweden after this international break, because she's signed on to play her football with Vittsjö in Sweden now, alongside Claire Polkinghorn. Razzo again for Carpenter. Bouncing off the challenge of Chance, and then Green in there as well. First corner of the contest in favour of the Matildas.
This is going to be a big day for Green and Chance as we have another look at the Ellie Carpenter ball through to Hayley Russell. Again, the combination between those two players just partnering so well together, but Anna Green and Liv Chance are going to have their work cut out for them this afternoon. They've got such speedsters up against them, and it's going to be a tough day in the office.
The cultured left boot of Steph Catley to take the corner. In it comes, near post. Keeper comes and punches. Driven back in by Kaya Simon. Now Polkinghorn back with Fowler. Just wouldn't sit for a shot on the left boot. All the way back with Carpenter, who finds Catley again. She'll want it on her left, chips it in. Polkinghorn, oh, what a save! Well, Polkinghorn was already celebrating her 13th international goal, and it's Victoria Essen with a strong left hand. Polkinghorn can't quite believe it.
Exceptional save from the New Zealand goalkeeper, Victoria Essen.
Looked like so close to already being in the net. There's another one that bounces off Alana Kennedy, the big central defender. Well, let's have another look at this save, because it looked like it was almost behind the line when she poured it away.
It did look like Essen almost scooped that one from out of the goal, but she did spectacularly well to get a hand to that, and a couple of set pieces from the Matildas in close succession. New Zealand football ferns having to do a lot of defending and absorb a lot of pressure. Matildas are looking really dangerous in that final third.
Plays a football in Germany these days with SC Sand. Here comes Fowler again. And it's opening up in front of her. It's a good run from Sam Kerr. Chips it towards Kaya Simon. Almost worth a shot from that kind of distance when you've got Sam Kerr written on the back of your shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, it might have been a question of whether or not Sam Kerr drifted into an offside position. Mary Fowler perhaps just held onto the ball a moment too long.
Well, let's head down to Amy Chapman, who's on the sideline in Townsville. Amy, the Matildas are on top early.
Robbie, it is absolutely electric down here, and the crowd loving this high tempo that the game has started with. Real attacking intent from the Matildas, and from the New Zealand bench, the remarks are too much space, too much pace on this right-hand side from Ellie Carpenter and Hayley Russell, and way too much time for these Matildas on the ball in the midfield.
Well, it has been impressive down that right-hand side. Almost everything for the Matildas coming down the right-hand side at the moment. Catley and Kaya Simon on the opposite flank. Green again. Anna Green, the left back. Bears some resemblance to Ali Green, who will soon be, well, probably contesting that position as well. The Sydney FC left back, who's been a train-on player in this international break with the Football Ferns after deciding to switch allegiances or accept New Zealand footballing nationality.
There'll be stiff competition there for both the position and the shirt name.
Exactly. Here's Satchel. Paige Satchel, it's a good run. Another of these players known so well to the Matildas. She's dispossessed by Catley. Fowler finds Razzo. Kennedy with Gorry. Taken away that time by Katrina Gorry, picked up by Betsy Hassett in the middle of the park. Every player in this New Zealand squad except Claudia Bunge in the centre of defence, and the goalkeeper Victoria Essen, as it's Hassett again getting forward into an advanced position in midfield. They all took part in the meeting between these two sides at the Tokyo Olympics. It's a similar story for the Matildas as well. Only Katrina Gorry was not a part of that match. Mary Fowler came off the bench. As Green goes sliding through the back of Razzo. Probably had enough of her attacking her down that flank.
Yeah, look, a fairly reckless challenge there from Green, and perhaps a bit of frustration. Hayley Russo's had a number on a few occasions already tonight. She picks up a yellow card for her efforts there, unsurprisingly too.
Good to see that the neighbourly rivalry between these two countries is alive and well. A couple of words between the two. Anna Green is into the book. It was a physical challenge from behind.
It's a really early yellow card to pick up as well for a defender. It means you've got to be on your best behaviour for the remainder of the match, and there's plenty of football to be played here.
Polkinghorne into the feet of Gorry. She goes again. Fowler. Great first touch. Oh, that looks painful. They may have a knee injury there in the middle of the park as the Matildas play on. Razzo looking for Fowler. It's going to be a corner, and this game is going to be stopped for a moment, and it's the veteran Ria Percival. She's holding her knee, and this looks very, very bad. These bodies are put under such stress, travelling around the world for these matches, and there she had to turn, and the knee has just buckled.
Oh, look, they're really, really concerning signs there for Ria Percival. You hate to see those non-contact moments, and she's gone down straight away, clutching at her knee. And you can see as well the speed at which her teammates got around her the moment that ball went out.
Well, she was the Oceania Player of the Decade. Ria Percival plays a football for Tottenham Hotspur alongside Kaya Simon. Let's go down to Amy on the sidelines. How did you see that, Amy?
Yeah, it didn't look pretty here. It certainly looked like a painful one, and one of those change of directions off the ball, they're always really difficult, and you could see the concern on the New Zealand teammates there immediately. So it's not good signs there for Percival, but both teams taking the opportunity to get a break. It's still really warm here, slight breeze, but probably a well-earned break.
Well, let's hope sincerely for Ria Percival that it is not as bad as it looks. She does have a little bit of time left as they help her off the pitch, but if that's worst case scenario, it's going to be touch and go for a host World Cup when you're the player, the emblematic player that's played more than any other, best player in just about in this generation for New Zealand, and she's being helped off the field, and heartbreaking stuff.
Yeah, really distressing there for Percival, and she's an absolute legend of the New Zealand football team, and they're really distressing scenes, and really do wish her all the best.
Well, let's have a look at that effort once again from Polkinghorne, because it's been the best chance of the match so far, and there have been a couple.
Well, Claire Polkinghorne, she's no stranger to knocking one away with her head, and that one just came so close. I can't understand how that's not gone over the line. We don't have goal line technology here, but It's a great save by Esson, a huge scoop off that left palm.
It was nearly her third goal against New Zealand. So she enjoys these matchups. We're going to have an early substitution as well. It's going to be Michaela Moore who's coming on. The Liverpool central defender. Infamously scored 3 own goals against the USA recently in the first half. It is a quality defender to come into the game as Esson comes and punches. Kaya Simon has it back, in it comes, back post. Polkinghorne is there. It's a good header back across the face of goal, and Claudia Bunge gets it clear. Catley with Gorry. Taking on Hassett, getting down to the byline, and it's cleared by Chance, only as far as Razzo. Catley again. She's enjoying a fantastic season at Arsenal. Steph Catley. Fowler. Driving the ball in. It's a great ball. It's another wonderful save from Esson. Well, we'll see on the replay if she knew too much about it. I think Alana Kennedy got a glancing touch.
Oh, this is a quality ball chipped in there from Mary Fowler. Alana Kennedy relatively unmarked, unchallenged there. Really poor defending from New Zealand, you've got to say, but that is another class save from the goalkeeper, Victoria Esson. That's a tremendous stop off her left foot, and another chance for the Matildas that they have been unable to put away.
Well, she is keeping her side on a level playing field at the moment, Victoria Esson. Now they can make that substitution. Michaela Moore into the action. Mary Fowler has provided 2 wonderful passes already in this contest. The first to open up that chance for Hayley Razzo. Oh, there is big contact there. And Claire Polkinghorne is apologising immediately. Now she has caught Ali Riley in the side of the head with a knee. It looked like she was flying towards the ball.
As we see on the replay here, Claire Polkinghorne, she's gone for that near post run, and she's had all eyes for the ball, but Ali Riley's gone to clear it. Again, both players just with their eyes on the ball, but that's a really tough contact, and Polk's flying high there has collected Ali Riley just on the side of her head, her shoulder there, and those ones really do hurt.
Well, she did look as though she pulled out at least when she realised that she wasn't going to get to the ball, but the knee still clattered into the side of Riley's head.
And of course, Ali Riley, another veteran for this New Zealand football firm side, and just such an experienced player, so important for the team out there. She spent a lot of time in America with Angel City, and a Stanford player too, so she just brings this wealth of experience. She's a quality player for New Zealand.
LA born and raised. Now, that is a fantastic university CV she has as well. She's just confirming she has to leave the field of play because she's received treatment, and probably Polkinghorne consider herself a little bit lucky not to have received a booking there. Not for anything intentional, but just you're not allowed to knee opposition players in the head.
Yeah, you'd say with someone like Polkinghorne, there's no real malice attached to that kind of challenge, but irrespective of it's still a foul on that occasion. She's probably, as you say, pretty lucky not to pick up a yellow card for that.
Riley rejoins. She has 144 caps now for her country. Claire Polkinghorne, 142. Both 33, 34 years of age. Both vastly experienced. Claire Polkinghorne, twice Julie Dolan medalist in the A-League women's competition. Asian champion, one of the few in this squad. Asian champion from 2010. Sam Kerr, Lydia Williams are there as well. Here's Steph Catley. Kaya Simon, another, who was part of that squad. As it's cleared by Riley. And Egmond and Gorry. also see that there's a real desire to play with Katrina Gorry, as well as that first port of call out of midfield. Here she is again and looking to play positive football. Ball in towards Kerr. Cleared, and now Betsy Hassett trying to run the ball away. The challenge by Fowler.
Look, that's the first real passage we've seen up that left-hand wing there. We've had a lot of action down on this right-hand side with Ellie Carpenter, Hayley Russo, but to get Steph Catley and Kaya Simon involved a little bit more in the game and just stretch the field and expand, looking to open up the field there rather. Definitely Steph Catley, she's got that delivery we know in her arsenal.
Coin a phrase, to choose a word. Chance. As Razzo has gone down holding her head in this one. There's no quarter asked or given so far in this contest. As Catley, that's a good challenge on Satchel.
Let's get another look at this contact here. Nothing too much in that, just a bit of a glancing slap there from Bunge onto Hayley Russo, who's definitely felt that one.
Just a clip around the ears. Fowler. Little touch with Van Egmond, who looks up and looks long. And Riley again across in cover. Well, we haven't seen too much of the football Ferns as an attacking force, and Paige Satchel didn't see that Hannah Wilkinson had come deep looking to offer her a bit of close support. We have seen this season in the A-League women's competition just how effective Hannah Wilkinson is at making those runs in behind as well. Vastly experienced striker.
She's got a great stature about her too. She's a really quality size, and as much as she can make those really well-timed runs through, she's great at checking to the ball, posting up and looking just to drop a ball off into a midfielder underneath her.
Here's Van Egmond with Kerr. Little touch for Gorry. One touch football for Fowler. Lovely first touch from Mary Fowler again to take her away from two opponents. 26 international goals for Hannah Wilkinson. Over 100 caps. She's played just about everywhere as well. All across Europe. Fantastic career in the United States as well. Here she is, number 17. Cuts it back into a dangerous area. We saw Katie Bowen making a run to the near post.
It's a brilliantly timed run there. There was a question whether or not she just took herself into an offside position, but she's done really well to keep that one in and cut it back to the top of the 6-yard box there. Hannah Wilkinson, so important for her this season that she did have a quality year with Melbourne City, and she absolutely stood up as their international player, and she carried that side, worked so well with Holly McNamara until her unfortunate injury, but she's playing with a great deal of confidence at the moment.
The header away by Polkinghorne. Back in, but it's a comfortable one for Lydia Williams. Now there's no flag for Russo getting down this right-hand side. Van Egmond's in the middle, the cutback, Van Egmond! And Sam Kerr has exactly the play you'd want in that situation, on the ball at the back post. She'd scored 7 in her last 5 for Chelsea.
Well, Hayley Russo, she has done exceptionally well there on that run. She did have to hold her run to keep herself onside, and she's taken that ball all the way to the byline just to invite more players into the middle. It's a beautiful cutback. Sam Kerr, she knows she had to do better. There was a little wry smile after that occasion, but that was a beautiful opportunity for the Matildas and for Sam Kerr.
No addition to the 56 international goals that she has so far. Gorry back in position and possession. Don't forget, this is the first of 2 matches between the Matildas and New Zealand. As the Matildas come again with Rasso, and that's a touch out for a corner. The second game on Tuesday, the 12th of April at GIO Stadium in Canberra. And get along for that one. It's going to be the 50th match between these 2 sides. Tickets are available. Just search for Matildas on the internet, and I'm sure you'll come across them.
Hayley Rasso looking a little bit baffled on that one. She was certain there'd been a New Zealand touch on there. She was looking for the corner.
Carpenter is into the Champions League semi-finals in Europe with her club Olympique Lyonnais. They'll be taking on their compatriots, Paris Saint-Germain, in that semi-final. Carpenter, here she is, once again releasing Rasso, who's kept it in play, but only for the benefit of Green. Hassett now. Closed down by Fowler. He's working hard. Great form, Mary Fowler.
Yeah, she's a phenomenal player for this Matildas now and into many years of the future to come. In terms of her return for games, her goal scoring and her work rate for this Matildas side is just exceptional. She plays well beyond her years and is the only teenager now in the Matildas squad in this friendly series. She's such an exciting prospect to watch, and I just really enjoy the type of football she plays.
Hard to believe she's still so young. She's already been in this squad for a couple of years now. This is her 25th cap already, and still eligible for the Under-20 World Cup in Costa Rica in late July, August as well this year.
Yeah, alongside her teammates, unfortunately not out there tonight, but Courtney Nevin, Kyra Cooney-Cross too, also eligible for the Under-20. Leah Blaney's Under-20 Young Matildas side to go to Costa Rica. So some real quality, and I'm sure there'll be some close eyes watching on those performances this evening.
A couple of youngsters in the New Zealand ranks as well. Ava Collins, who's playing her football in New York State for St. John's Red Storm. University football there, college football in North America. Here's Paige Satchell. She has great pace, charging down that right flank. She's got Olivia Chance at the back post. He'd shown a clean pair of heels to Kaya Simon, but Polkinghorne was crossing cover.
Well, Paige Satchell, she is absolutely rapid, and fortunately Polkinghorne was there to clean up, and it was really just that last touch from Satchell that let her down a little bit too heavy and showed a bit much of the ball to Claire Polkinghorne.
Cleverly. Had done well, but the ball just beat her out of play. Daisy Cleverly, who's a free agent, so she's in the shop window if clubs are looking. It still reflects the sometimes perilous state of women's professional football still. The players often sign just 1-2 year contracts, move around a lot. Seasons are short. Gives you the opportunity to play in many countries all over the world, which is the case for most of these girls. And how about that? Anna Green with an absolutely stunning goal. They can't believe it on the bench. I'm sure Lydia Williams can't believe it either.
Well, that has silenced the Matildas, and you have to say, absolutely against the run of play. Anna Green, I don't think she's intended to shoot on that occasion. That's one of those short crosses. But there may be a question of whether she's taken herself into an offside position too, but the Matildas will be so disappointed. 30 minutes in, they could easily be 4 or 5-0 up, and they've conceded in this moment.
Well, let's have a look at that offside call. Well, it is very, very close, too close to call from that angle. And just the way she struck it, Grace, and I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, that looks to me like she did that on purpose.
We can agree to disagree, Robbie. I think she was looking for the cross on that occasion, and she's laced it, but she's found the top corner to her credit. And the Matildas, when they could have been, as I mentioned, 4-5-0 up at this point in the game, and they've conceded.
Well, this has become a recurrent theme for the Matildas in recent outings. They struggled to get goals before netting 4 against the Philippines, and then of course that quarter-final in the Asian Cup where they had so many chances, hit the woodwork. Things didn't go their way, of course. There were penalty calls that didn't go their way, but this has been another half an hour of dominant football from the Matildas, as you say, Grace, quite correctly, with nothing to show for it. And when you don't take your chances, it's as simple as that. No matter what happens, fluke or otherwise, you're never clear of something coming and biting you.
It's about being clinical in those moments, and when we talk about football being a series of moments, and when you can't capitalise on those, they can come back to hurt you, exactly as it did for the Matildas in the Asian Cup and this evening, 30 minutes of football. And they've been absolutely dominant in the opening half.
One over the top for Kerr to chase, and it's Green who gets there and wins the goal kick even. So everything working for Anna Green at the moment, the 31-year-old. Let's have a look at this goal again. XG on this, 0.025.
Nonetheless, it's a brilliant strike, and you can see Jitka Klimkova and what that one really meant to her.
Look at that, there it is. So that was the one and only shot at goal so far from New Zealand against what could easily be 4 or 5 goals. An unexpected goals tally for the Matildas. Now the question for the Matildas is, unlike against Korea Republic in that quarter-final when it came in the 92nd minute, now they have an hour to fight back, to try and turn this one around. That's a great challenge from Rasso. Now Fowler with Kerr. Lovely first-time ball for Carpenter. Kerr's making her way back in the middle. Carpenter still going. And she just hesitated a moment too long. In the end, it was either shot or cross, and that was neither one nor the other.
You could see the moment of indecision there from Ellie Carpenter as well. It was an excellent run, finding herself in a raft of space there. Sam Kerr was ready to receive the ball, and Ellie Carpenter, you could see she was in two minds about whether to shoot or whether to put that one on the floor to Sam Kerr, and just that moment of indecision makes for an easy grab for Essen in goal.
9 shots to 1. That tells the whole story. 35 minutes in. What had otherwise been a very positive start for the Matildas. Here's Green. One for Satchel to chase. She is so quick. He almost ran it down. Tony Gustafsson, connected to his coaching staff, probably high up in the QCB Stadium. That Tony just saying, Mary, play higher. Get a bit higher up the pitch. That's another good first-time ball as Kerr is dragged back by Claudia Bunge.
Yeah, Kerr really looking for the foul there, and there was a shirt pull. There absolutely was a shirt pull, but she's got to play on in those moments. It was a brilliant first touch ball through to Sam Kerr, and this is where we see the foul. Absolutely, it's a foul, but Sam's got to look to play on in those moments because she hasn't been awarded the foul on this occasion. But Bunge, just a cheeky tactical shirt pull there, and it's really taken a sting out of Sam Kerr's attack on that occasion.
Well, everyone saw it on the big screen, including Tony Gustafsson and the fourth official. Matilda's coach from Sweden, who was assistant coach when the USA, Jill Ellis, made it a fantastic World Cup victory in France 3 years ago now. Matilda's made the second round there. Now Van Egmond closed down quickly by Riley. Pleased to say that she's showing no ill effects of that blow that she took to the side of the head. Long one for Wilkinson, trying to get in behind Polkinghorne. And the flag is up this time for offside against Wilkinson.
I see here as well with how the football ferns are setting up. They're really happy to sit back and allow the Matildas to play out and connect their first couple of passes. It means that Katrina Gorry is getting on the ball a lot. She's getting a lot of touches. For the football ferns, if they're wanting to close down that attack, they need to put more pressure on a player like Gorry, who is pulling the strings.
Carpenter's ball in, it might yet fall for Hayley Russo. Oh, and it was sitting beautifully for the strike. It looked like it was heading for that bottom left-hand corner, but at the moment, nothing is going the Matildas' way, and it's cleared by Claudia Bunge.
That's a really great intervention there by Bunge. That held up really nicely for Hayley Russo, and she did get onto that cleanly. But a great intervention there by Bunge.
Six minutes to go, last stoppage time in this first half. Katrina Gorry with a fifth corner for Australia. In it comes, back post. Oh, and Kaya Simon. The two just hesitated at the crucial moment, and then the chance was gone. Kaya Simon, one of two Indigenous Australians in this Matildas squad. Fantastic models, role models, heading towards that World Cup as well. Lydia Williams, the goalkeeper, the other. Kaya Simon, who's written so many fantastic pages into the history of women's football in this country. Likewise, Lydia Williams. Lydia Williams, one of 7 women footballers in the Aboriginal and Islanders Hall of Fame for sporting excellence. 13 footballers or soccer players in all. Here's Kennedy, here's Lydia Williams. There was nothing she could do about that goal. Mary Fowler. Oh, that's well played, Sam Kerr. They're queuing up in the middle. Oh, and Van Egmond just got the faintest of touches that took the ball away from Kaya Simon at the back post. And that's better from the Matildas, getting back on the front foot.
Yeah, definitely picking up the ascendancy again there after conceding that goal. Sam Kerr did really well on that occasion, a positive first touch and looking to connect in the final third.
Matildas just dominating all over the park in every department except one. And unfortunately, it's the most important one. The score. 72% possession for the Matildas. 240 passes. That's less than 100 so far for New Zealand. There's Gorry trying to bundle over Hassett. Satchel can't get there, neither can Cleverly. And Katrina Gorry goes again. The cross in, it's a good ball into the danger zone. And Hayley Russo got there, but just couldn't keep it in play.
That was a handy little ball in there from Katrina Gorry too. As we have another look at this chance, Sam Kerr did really well to get through her defenders, but it was just that slight touch from Van Egmond that's almost put Kaya Simon off on that occasion. And here's that ball from Katrina Gorry. Hayley Russo can't quite get herself around it. No matter how quick she is, she can't make something of that one on that occasion.
She plays the game at such intensity, doesn't she? Hayley Raso, that's well played by Mary Fowler. Mary Fowler, who has Papua New Guinean roots and Irish. Quite the combination. Chose to play for Australia, where she was raised. She's travelled all over the world as well. Footballing family, the brothers are very good footballers as well. Katrina Gorry with Polkinghorne. Catley. Van Egmond back. Gorry again. Little touch from Fowler. Oh, Gorry was trying to take it past Michaela Moore. Oh, that's offside surely against Wilkinson again. Sam Kerr. Well defended again by Claudia Bunge, doing just enough. Big test for her against Sam Kerr as well. She was fantastic for Melbourne Victory this season.
She had a great season with Melbourne Victory. And of course, New Zealand without Abby Erceg, the incredibly experienced defender for their national team too. So it's a big ask for Claudia Bunge, but she's done really well to keep Sam Kerr relatively quiet in this opening half.
That first ever meeting back in October 1979, first official meeting. There was one earlier one between an Australian Invitational 11, if you like, back in 1975 in the Asian Cup in Hong Kong, but the first official international between these two countries in 1979. It finished 2-2. They played 3 matches back-to-back. New Zealand won the second and Australia the third. As the ball in, Van Egmond can't get a telling header. Kaya Simon keeps it alive, back in. Here we are, 43 years on. New Zealand are leading again at half-time, but will they lead into the break? Sam Kerr just showed too much of that to Claudia Bunge. Kerr's ball back in. And once again, it's been claimed by Victoria Essen. What a match she's had, from that first save to deny Hayley Raso one-on-one. Polkinghorne as well, a brilliant save. More in there as well.
Yeah, she's had a brilliant first half, and I think that first save against Hayley Raso has really set the tone for her match this evening in Essen. She's come up with some incredibly important saves and stood up really big time and time again.
There's Raso again. Of course, there was one black spot on this performance so far for New Zealand, which is that injury to Ria Percival. We're really hoping it's not an anterior cruciate ball, as the ball in, anterior cruciate knee injury, which is the dread for all footballers, of course, as Catley. Did she take that one in the face or in the midriff?
And she's copped that one fairly point blank. Either way, as we get another look. Really good intensity by Catley. It looks like it's sort of been on the arm there, so shouldn't be too painful, but certainly at point blank it can shock you a bit.
Let's have another look at another example of that Australian domination. Look at that, 1.98 XG. When you consider that about 0.5 of a point is a fairly presentable chance to score, that means that's 4 clear-cut chances against 0.04 for New Zealand so far in this contest. I guess you'd call it a wonder goal from Anna Green.
You would, and she's had a tough night up against Hayley Raso. She's had to do a wealth of work. So to be rewarded with a strike like that, whether or not she meant it, we might be able to ask her after some finish.
International goal number 8 for her, as Gorry has done well. Here's Kerr up against the goal scorer. Rasso, the cross is a good one. The header away, and Van Egmond, she just pulled out of it. It looked like didn't really believe enough in what she was doing on the edge of the box there.
Yeah, if anyone has the ability to hit that kind of strike, it is an Emily Van Egmond. She just stabbed a bit too much at that and leant back slightly, which means the ball is blasted over the crossbar on that occasion. But we do know that Van Egmond has that in her locker.
Had a spell back in Australia with the Newcastle Jets this year before heading off to join the San Diego Wave. She spent a lot of time in America over the last few years. Very, very well-respected footballer on the international scene. There's the free kick. Goes Rasso's way, and this is going to be the last chance of the first half. A chance to get back on level terms for the Matildas.
Yeah, a bit of a tussle there between Rasso and Green, and as we see on this last kick of the half, Alana Kennedy heading up into the box, the tall timber there. She's great in the air. We know Kaya Simon got a great vertical leap too. So I'm sure the Matildas will be looking to pull one back in the dying moments of this first half.
It'll be Steph Catley to deliver. Made her debut against New Zealand back in 2012. Catley it is. Ball back post, the header from Alana Kennedy is straight out and behind for a goal kick. There'll be no time to take it though. Half-time in Townsville, where an absolute worldie from Anna Green against the run of play separates the two sides. It's been all Matildas in far North Queensland, but that moment of magic from Green separates the two sides. New Zealand 1, Australia 0.
An 8th international goal for Anna Green has New Zealand ahead of the Matildas. Not the scoreline most people would have predicted at half-time. It's New Zealand leading Australia by 1-0. Can New Zealand win for the first time against Australia since 1994? They're on the right path. We'll be back after this short break to take a closer look at the first 45 from Townsville.
wearing the captain's armband. As it's Emily Van Egmond that gets this second half underway. Australia chasing the game after that miraculous goal. And a first touch in her 100th cap for Caitlin Ford, who comes full circle tonight and gets a shot on target as well. Barely 18 seconds into this second half. She made her international debut, Caitlin Ford, against New Zealand back in 2011 in Gosford. While there's a change for New Zealand as well with Gabby Rennie, who scored against Australia in the Olympics. In the last minute, she comes on to replace Hassett in midfield. And Perth Glory's Elizabeth Anton is also into the game for the goal scorer, Anna Green. Grace changes. Coaches getting a look at players as well, but especially for the case of the Matildas, a result to chase here.
Yeah, and indeed, first of all, a huge congratulations to Caitlin Ford on her 100th appearance for the Matildas. I'm sure she'll be looking to turn that around and sneak a goal of her own tonight. But for New Zealand, I think just some fresh legs coming in. Anna Green had a tremendous first half.
They're onto the front foot here with Chance, who fires just wide of the near post.
And of course, Liv Chance is another player who is really familiar with the Australian team setup and with the Australian players as well, having spent a bit of time with Brisbane Roar in the former W League, now the A-League women, so a familiar face on this Football Ferns side.
A number of these Football Ferns have spent time in the A-League women's competition at one time or another. Cleverly with Satchel, but just drifting into an offside position.
Satchel's another one who had a really good season with Sydney FC this year in the Liberty A-League and stepped up on occasions where a couple of the Matildas players were away and had a really good showing. So it's really pleasing for her to see her in the New Zealand Football Ferns squad.
That's a great ball over the top for Rasso. Kerrs at the back post, and again Rasso is denied by Victoria Essen with another brave save.
Well, there's that ball over the top from Alana Kennedy that she does hit so well. But Victoria Essen, she is just having a game tonight.
Now Fowler just crowded out. Daisy Cleverly trying to get it clear. Catley gets the better of the bounce. She's being harassed by Paige Satchel, who won't let her get away.
Really tenacious defending there by Paige Satchel, just getting stuck in and being a bit of a nuisance to Steph Catley there, who just couldn't quite find the space for herself.
Gustafsson playing ball boy to try and encourage the Football Ferns to keep moving. Elizabeth Anton with the throw as Satchel bundled over, and a late whistle, but a whistle in the end in favour of the Sydney FC flyer. It's Katrina Gorry who just leant in with the shoulder. Michaela Moore. Good ball for Gabby Rennie. Putting Ellie Carpenter under pressure. She has to play the ball, Carpenter. She's done it pretty well. Now Gorry. Back with Ellie Carpenter. Gabby Rennie, who plays her football for the Arizona State Sun Devils. All got great names, the American colleges. Here's Mary Fowler trying to thread the pass through for Caitlin Ford. Matildas have to be careful. It was another quick transition, looking for the pace of Satchel. Already been caught out once, even if caught out is a harsh considering the quality of the goal that came in the end from Green. Now here's Riley. She's switched to left back with Green going off at half-time. Here's Van Egmond. She keeps it alive. Little back heel for Rasso. Cross in. Dealt with by Claudia Bunge. Straight back in from Kennedy. Well played. Good pressure this from the Matildas. Gorry. Kerr giving her an option. Short into feet. Carpenter again. Back with Gorry. They'll look to switch it away from a congested right-hand side. Gorry's ball looking for Kerr. Michaela Moore with the help of Cleverly. And then back again. Victoria Essen. It's a good ball for Riley. 31-year-old keeper. So not a youngster breaking through. It's just cap number 6 for her. She was in the World Cup squad in 2019.
That's pretty spectacular. Just a 6th appearance for the goalkeeper, and she's putting on the kind of performance she is tonight. She's putting her hand up and saying that she's class and quality, and the stops she's made against these Matildas shots have been really special. It's been a great performance from the goalkeeper so far.
Look at the space for Fowler to turn and run. Mary Fowler still with Caitlin Ford. Caitlin Ford still going. Well, she brings her goal threat to the equation for the Matildas as Gorry with Ford again. She's looking for Fowler, I think. Kennedy. Not an easy one for Hayley Rasso. And now Rennie.
To take on Ellie Carpenter in a foot race. You did mention it was Gabby Rennie who scored against the Matildas in Tokyo at the Olympics last year in that result. So she's perhaps playing with a little bit of confidence, but Ellie Carpenter, we know the engine that she possesses.
The pass through was just not quite on the right axis for Sam Kerr. Oh, there's Caitlin Ford. That'll be a free kick. And Michaela Moore has gone down. And both these two players are going to receive some treatment. It's a big clash of heads.
That's really heavy contact there between Michaela Moore and Caitlin Ford, and both players have stayed down and getting treatment and a bit of attention on a head clash. We know they've got to do the right concussion tests and protocols, make sure both players are okay to continue.
We'll have a look at this latest save from Essen.
Oh, it's another special save from Essen. It's an excellent run from Hayley Rasso, and she perhaps had Sam Kerr centrally, but Essen has come out, she's closed the angle really well, and she's made herself as big as possible in that opportunity. Hayley Rasso just asking herself the question, how could she get one past her? She's having a game of her life tonight, Victoria Essen.
It was a good first touch as well to set up the shot. Well, if you're enjoying what you're seeing around the country, whether you're watching on Network 10 or if you're in Townsville watching, check out playfootball.com.au, because that's where you can choose your next football team as well. Get down and start playing. And if you're a particular youngster between the ages of 4 and 11, it's miniroos.com.au, because they've got holiday programs and football programs to introduce you to the game, no matter which side you're supporting, the Matildas or the Football Ferns. It's a great game. Football Australia doing plenty of programs, including school programs as well, to help the youngsters get into the game, fall in love with a sport that can take you all over the world as well and produce some magical moments.
What a special night as well for the city of Townsville to get the Matildas and the Football Ferns on home soil as we have another look. Just
Close to offside,
astonishing goal here from Anna Green. She absolutely puts her laces through that strike. There's nothing on that occasion that Lydia Williams would have been able to do about that one, and I don't think she would have been expecting the shot. I think she was setting herself, positioning herself for a cross on that occasion.
But it looks more and more like a shot every time, doesn't it, Grace?
Oh, it looks pretty good from this angle.
It is a wonderful goal. Unfortunately for Lydia Williams and the Matildas, there's no record equaling 34th clean sheet for the 33-year-old keeper. So Melissa Barbieri, who'll be watching this one, continues to lead the way in that department with 34 clean sheets. She had a wonderful season as well. Still going at, I won't say the age, 40 plus, 25 years of senior career for Melissa Barbieri. Wonderful stuff, and getting better with age.
One of the best seasons I've seen her play this year, Robbie. She just had such a spectacular year with Melbourne City.
Well, we just saw those match stats again, which just underline how hard this has been for the Matildas to take, that they're trailing by a goal to nil. Bunge. Great commitment from Alana Kennedy, closing that one down. Here's another player who's made a place for herself at Manchester City now. Wasn't easy at the start, as Gorry has done brilliantly. Gets the cross in, back post. Caitlin Ford chases. Ford's another who plays a football for Arsenal. There are three of them. Here's a teammate, clubmate in North London, Steph Catley. Van Egmond. And while a number of these Matildas and Football Ferns played in the A-League W competition this year, for the Matildas, there's only one of them left at the moment. That's Courtney Vine on the bench, who has Fowler. It's on that left foot. She struck it well, but straight at Victoria Essen. That was a little more comfortable grab for the keeper.
Yeah, and a much better build-up as well from the Matildas. Really stretched the field, and Mary Fowler was a lovely turn at the centre of the park, and she knows she had to do a little bit better with that strike, but a really cleanly hit strike on her left foot there. Another good opportunity for the Matildas.
Alex Chidiac, who's on the bench, will hopefully see a bit of her. Champion this season with Melbourne Victory. She's signed for Racing Louisville in the USA. Kyra Cooney-Cross and Courtney Nevin. Courtney Nevin, who's missing this evening. She's withdrawn from the squad following a medical protocol. She is signed for Hammarby along with Kyra Cooney-Cross in Sweden. That's another good ball for Fowler. Lovely touch. Brilliantly done. Great composure, but then can't find the final ball in.
Oh, that was just divine there. That ball through from Katrina Gorry. Mary Fowler so smooth on that first touch, and just can't find the cut back to the top of the 6-yard box, but she just looks so fluid in that final third of the field. Just such an instinctive footballer.
Steph Catley again. There's the signal. And it comes, it's towards Essen. She gets a good touch on it. And it's off the crossbar from Ford. So close for the Matildas. Now Gorry getting to a good angle to cross. Back post, Kennedy. Back across the face of goal, cleared by Michaela Moore. Back in, and Alana Kennedy is in an offside position. Well, you can't take a trick at the moment. Caitlin Ford's so close.
You can't. You've got to ask the Matildas, what more can they do besides putting this ball in the back of the net? And again, Essen with another good save, and just positioning has been real quality tonight for the New Zealand goalkeeper.
Caitlin Ford scored on her debut for the Matildas against New Zealand. She scored 4 goals against the Football Ferns. was so close to number 5 there. She really belted it as well. Here's Catley.
You can see the numbers as well, that New Zealand are getting behind the ball. I'm really happy to sit in that defensive block.
What a great touch from Kerr for Fowler. Still running, and it's tipped over. Well, let's have a look at the chances, because they're queuing up for the Matildas now.
Well, this was that good palm again from Essen, and Caitlin Ford has a good look at that one. Mary Fowler finding a bit of joy in the middle of the park, and again gets another good shot away. Asking the question whether there was a little fingertip there from Essen to push that one over. But she's certainly looking to find a little bit of space just in front of the New Zealand defensive line there at the top of the 18-yard box.
The referee didn't think that there was a save there from Essen. She saved everything so far this evening. I'm not sure why she didn't think she'd save that as well. As Gorry tries it from distance, and there's a bit of friction out there as well. Caitlin Ford feeling that there were a little too close attentions there.
Yeah, she was getting some fairly close attention there by Liz Anton. And again, Katrina Gorry, we've said it before and we've seen it before from her. She can definitely deliver on that kind of distance, and she's had a remarkable game tonight, just given the form she's come in from with Brisbane Roar, and she's just playing with such confidence.
Now Wilkinson charging away up the other end. Surely lightning is not going to strike twice. You have to be so careful, and again it was Kennedy who just got left behind by Wilkinson. Polkinghorne, at 33 years of age, was across in cover.
There's good cover there by Polkinghorne. Wilkinson just running out of legs, and a bit of support she needed behind her on that occasion.
Essen long and managed to find all the way through to Wilkinson. Ali Riley was looking for the through ball that time for Gabby Rennie. Carpenter with Gorry for Fowler. She's starting to find lots of space in between Cleverly and Chance. Here's Mary Fowler. Now here's Caitlin Ford taking on Anton. She thinks it should be a corner. Well, I suspect the Matildas should have had a corner earlier, so that one is a bit of payback if it came off Ford last.
Matildas have looked so dangerous on set pieces and corners, particularly tonight.
Cleared by Riley, the captain. Rennie for Satchel. Gorry doing just enough. Catley. Carpenter goes again. Danger here for the Football Ferns. Ellie Carpenter. Oh, and she had 3 to aim for with a cross in the middle. It was on her right foot. She went looking for Van Egmond on the edge of the box. Van Egmond again, good touch for Fowler. One way then the other. Kerr for Van Egmond. Carpenter now, overlapping run from Rasso. It's well played. They're just swarming around the black shirts. Carpenter with Gorry. Again, she tries it from distance. Well, she'd love to get that goal on her return to green and gold, but it's not happening so far for Katrina Gorry.
She's certainly looking for it. She perhaps had Ellie Carpenter out to her right on that occasion, and you mentioned the word there, swarming, just numbers in the box there. There's so much traffic at the moment for the Matildas to try and break down. Just really need to try and stretch the field and open up some of those gaps between New Zealand's defensive line.
Now Kennedy showing good pace, but she's gone down. And she's got a bit of cramp there as well. We heard Tony Gustafsson before the match saying that they had to monitor some minutes of certain players. Cramp is painful as she tries to stretch it out. Just saw the shooting stats. 22 shots to 2, 9 on target to 1, and a dominant expected goals. It really does tell a different story to the scoreboard, which normally is one of the reasons why we love this sport. Not necessarily when the Matildas are on the receiving end, but you don't have to be the better side to win football matches.
That's right, and sometimes possession doesn't necessarily tell the story around what actually happens in a football match and the result. We see tonight the Matildas entirely dominant in possession and in passes, and just unable to capitalise on all these chances that they are creating, and they are creating some really clear chances.
There's a tired-looking pass from Katrina Gorry that time. As we approach the midway point of the second half, she has been so busy operating in that deep-lying midfield position. Oh, that's a fantastic pass for Ford. Against Moore, Caitlin Ford still going, and it's blocked by Claudia Bunge. Just when it looked like it had all opened up for her. Well, how many chances before you score? And this really does feel like deja vu all over again to the last time we were watching the Matildas play. Sam Kerr. Van Egmond resists the temptation to shoot from distance. Carpenter. Gorry again looks up and crosses for Van Egmond, ducked out of the way, and it was Sam Kerr who steered it towards goal, but without any power.
But yet again, another shot on target for the Matildas, and another decent build-up as we have another look at this Caitlin Ford run into the box. It's a really great driving run, a drop of her right shoulder just to open up a bit of a space on her preferred right foot too, but she's just unable to get that shot past Bunge, who's been immense tonight for New Zealand.
Kerr for Van Egmond. Kerr wants it back. Look at all the green and gold shirts forward now. Catley for Ford. Oh, great back heel for Catley again. And they play their club football together. As I mentioned earlier, they know each other's games. Van Egmond with Ford. Hooking it towards the back post where Sam Kerr was just caught on her heels.
That's a pretty special one for a 100th game there, a back heel nutmegs from Caitlin Ford.
Surely that counts double. This ball in for Kerr, and Rasso, Kerr, no, cleared again. Claudia Bunge. And the heroics from the Football Ferns continue at the back. How much longer can they hang on?
Well, Claudia Bunge, Victoria Essen, they've both been immense tonight defensively for New Zealand. The numbers that the Football Ferns are getting behind the ball so quickly, just flooding the 18-yard box, and it's making the task for the Matildas so tricky. They're just really struggling to break that defensive block down. They are getting good shots away too, but we've mentioned time and time again, Victoria Essen has stepped up and been really important on a big occasion.
Now Rasso gets in behind them, has to turn back. Carpenter using Rasso as a decoy run, but oh, she almost got an unintentional nutmeg back there. You mentioned it in the first half, Grace, but Claudia Bunge had a remarkable season, scored in the semi-finals for Melbourne Victory in central defence without Kayla Morrison, her normal central defensive partner. She had to adapt. She was a calming force at the back throughout the season for Melbourne Victory, and she's proving it again here this evening. She's earned this call-up, and she's doing her bit at keeping the Matildas at bay.
You think on a warm evening in Townsville, we know the weather, it's stifling the heat there. So in terms of substitutions, might we see some fresh legs? Alex Chidiac, Courtney Vine, these game changes we have seen in the Liberty A-League, whether they'll come on and look to inject a bit of energy into the side.
We'll have a look at those latest chances in a moment as well, because Australia continue to dominate. We're into the last 20 minutes here. Gorry's ball is a good one. It falls back post. Kerr just couldn't get it onto the right foot for a shot, but it's another corner as we have a look at those last two chances for the Matildas.
There's a lovely ball clipped in there from Van Egmond, and again, last-ditch defending there by Claudia Bunge. What a phenomenal night she's had this evening for the Football Ferns.
Just 22 years of age. Catley. Ball in. Kerr leaping just onto the roof of the net. Well, she has a fantastic jump. It's one of her strengths, her aerial prowess. Just couldn't keep it down.
And again, another beautiful corner whipped in by Steph Catley, and you're exactly right, Robbie. Sam Kerr on that vertical jump. Her timing is excellent. There's a lot of pressure coming in through there from Essen. But Sam Kerr, maybe she's just getting closer. She's getting a sniff for it. She'll grow into the game.
Well, we saw in the Olympics that she can be counted on right to the final whistle. During that disappointing Asian Cup campaign, she still finished top scorer of the competition with 7 goals. It took her beyond 50. It set a new record in Australian football, men and women combined, of 56 international goals now as Gorry. Lovely control. Brasso. A little ball into feet of Fowler. Carpenter was making the run. Chance with Rennie. See a number of the players lifting the sleeves up over the shoulders. It's very, very warm, still very, very humid here in far northern Queensland, as that one's straight forward for Essen. Cleverly. She's been discreet in midfield. This is more adventurous. It's a good run. The cross. Clear, but it's a handball against Steph Catley.
From her reaction, I'm not sure Steph knew much about it.
Well, it's obviously the referee's assistant has said something there. Oh, yeah, well, probably. If it had been in the box, they'd be screaming for a penalty.
Oh yeah, you can see just a little glancing handball there, and a good opportunity for the Football Ferns to whip in a really dangerous ball in around the 6-yard box. Just put indecision into the mind of Lydia Williams.
The decision there made by a referee, Koizumi Asaka. In it comes, it's a good ball. Katie Bowen curling it in towards Williams, who's trying to get things moving quickly. Catley. Space for Fowler.
Robbie, to be fair, Lydia Williams hasn't had a great deal to do tonight. She's not had many touches on the ball or much action up her end.
Brasso won't get there. Well, there have been 2 shots on target in the whole match for New Zealand. The first, there was absolutely nothing she could do about. And a double change from New Zealand. Satchel and cleverly making way. Malia Steinmetz, who plays for the Western Sydney Wanderers, coming into the game. And number 18, Ava Collins, just 19 years of age, made her debut against Canada in that 5-1 defeat last year. She is into the contest, cup number 5 for her. Another starting out her international journey and hoping it will be taking her to the World Cup in 2023. Let's not forget that these are the 2 host nations. 6 venues in Australia, 4 in New Zealand will play host to matches at the World Cup, as Rasso taking on Riley. Chance across in cover. Rasso's done brilliantly. Van Egmond now. Closed down by Steinmetz. Van Egmond gets the cross in. Claudia Bunge. And now Gorry trying to bend it and blocked again by Steinmetz. Appeals for a handball. We saw it, the free kick given at the other end. And against Catley, it looked like a similar type of move.
You just see the Matildas really pushing for a path toward goal. Hayley Rasso doing a wealth of work down that right-hand side. Emily Van Egmond coming in to support. The resulting corner, Steph Catley standing over, who's been so effective over the ball tonight.
Catley's ball in. Kerr's head up. Blocked by Van Egmond. Well, that sums up the evening so far. I'm not sure it would have beaten the player on the post, but
it might not have. But as we see these minutes tick away, sort of 15 regulation minutes to go. Really interestingly, whether or not Tony Gustafsson looks to his bench to bring on some energy. It is a warm night. There's another game in just a few days' time. And, of course, the Matildas and Matildas fans want to see this playing group chase the game and get an equaliser.
here's Fowler. She's been lively in this second half. She's had a good game. Mary Fowler. Ford. She's a player who's come on and had that great chance, smacking the ball against the crossbar. Substitutions to come now, and that's going to be the last contribution from Mary Fowler. Tamika Yallop comes into the game with 12 minutes. Just the one change to try and add a little bit more energy in the middle of the park, a little bit more intensity perhaps. Not necessarily the same profile as Mary Fowler, but one that is very busy, works exceptionally hard. Plays a football for West Ham in England.
Of course, as well, Tamika Yallop did score against New Zealand in that win over New Zealand in the Olympics, so you can understand the substitution. But again, I'd really love to see a Chidiac, to see a Courtney Vine come into the side and inject some of that form we've seen from them.
As Gorry strikes again, and that one was on target. Takes the shots on target into double figures. For the Matildas, it was crisply struck.
Yeah, the technique behind Katrina Gorry's strikes that is so important, and she's hit that one really neatly. But you also have to credit the football ferns, the defensive effort from them, the amount of pressure that they've had to absorb in this match, in these 80 minutes gone so far, has been immense.
Jitka Klimkova, it's just her 8th match in charge, the first ever full-time football ferns coach. From the Czech Republic, she replaced Tommy Samani, who was in charge of the squad at the Olympics. 1 win, 1 draw, and 5 defeats so far for Klimkova. As that shot count just looks worse and worse for Australia. 11 on target now with that one. Her only win was a 2-0 friendly win over Korea before the Asian Cup. It was last November as Bunge fouls Kerr.
just collected a little bit too much of Sam Kerr on that occasion. But of course, Jitka Klimkova is a name and a face very familiar to the Australian football community. She spent a bit of time with Canberra United, taking them to the double in 2011 with the Premiership and Championship, and also given Hayley Raso her first real look into what was then W League football.
Catley's ball towards Kerr at the back post. The flag stayed down. Rennie. Well, like Tony Gustafsson, who was assistant coach with the US women's national team. Oh, that's a great ball for Kerr. Square pass for Alana Kennedy. And it is another huge opportunity for the Matildas to score.
Well, that's an opportunity, if ever I've seen one. Alana Kennedy with a blistering run into the 6-yard box, and she punches the ground in frustration. She knows that that's got to be a finish for the Matildas in the dying minutes of this game. That's just got to be put into the back of the net. It was a great cutback across the 16-yard box from Sam Kerr, and again, the pressure from the New Zealand defenders just tightly marked on Alana Kennedy on that occasion.
Oh, she's a great leader, Alana Kennedy. She wears a heart on her sleeve as well as Caitlin Ford gets the better of Anton. Oh, that's superb. Ford driving into the area. No way past Steinmetz, having got the better of Liz Anton. Not once, but twice.
That was silky from Caitlin Ford on that occasion.
Here's Polkinghorn. Van Egmond coming deep. Steinmetz gets a good foot in there. Collins dispossessed though. Too sprightly, Steph Catley. Yallop wide for Raso. Square ball! And off the post by Claudia Bunge. Well, it is another chance for the Matildas.
That's a decent ball across the face of the goal there as well from Hayley Raso. They're really tough to defend against, facing your own goal. The ball's been delivered at pace. Claudia Bunge has managed to get a touch onto it and almost redirect it into her own net.
Now riding their luck, the football Ferns. Ball in. Wilkinson misses it. Here's Carpenter. Wants it on the right boot. Chips it back in. Steinmetz clears. Rennie helps it on its way, only as far as Raso. She'll get it back from Ellie Carpenter. Switch of play is a good one for the left boot of Catley. Comes inside. Now crosses. Header away by Katie Bowen. Rennie. Oh, and don't tell me the brake's on again here. Wilkinson. Well, she wasn't going to take on Raso and Carpenter for pace, but now Collins. That's a good switch of play from the teenager. Gabby Rennie's kept it on. Looks up. Crosses easy enough for Lydia Williams.
I would say a bit of a miss-hit cross there from Gabby Rennie, but the football Ferns just doing so much work defensively, and then to make a break like that forward. Hannah Wilkinson, she's dropping so deep into that defensive block, and Hayley Raso here has come off second best on this coming together. She looks to be in a bit of discomfort there.
Well, the referee just coming to have a look. Let's head down to Amy Chapman, who's on the sidelines. Amy, what do you make of this Aussie onslaught?
Thanks, Robbie. It's, God, certainly getting tense here, and I can tell you point blank there is currently no Matildas warming up, ready to come on in the final 10 minutes here. Instead, Tony G looking to egg on these players, continue that energy here, but I will tell you from the fans' point of view, for a rugby league town, they are loving the physicality and the intensity of this game.
Well, interesting comments from down there on the sideline. Tony Gustafsson can only assume that he's happy with what he's seen. It has been a dominant performance. The only thing missing is ball in the back of the net, but this is something that can become a habit, can't it? You say winning is a habit, losing can also become a habit, and maybe so can dominating matches and not scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. It's concerning for the Matildas. They have had what you would call a really dominant performance. Statistically, possession-wise passes, Katrina Gorish has been immense coming back into international football. But unless you're putting these opportunities away, of which there have been tens, you're not going to win a football game. And for the Matildas, that will be so frustrating. You can see the frustration starting to come into their game and their faces when they're unable to convert those opportunities.
Just because the stats tell that story, as we see the expected goals, flags up for offside against Carpenter. Touches in opposition box is normally a good sign of where the match is being played. 27 touches inside the Football Ferns penalty box. 1 touch for a New Zealand player inside the Matildas penalty box in this entire match. And that wasn't the goal.
It's sometimes where the statistics don't tell the accurate story of the pending result of a game, and there's still a few minutes to play. The Matildas are really going to be pushing for this equaliser, and for the mentality and the psyche of the game, it's so important for them to be able to try and get something out of this match.
Happy birthday, Grace Jail, for 2 days' time. The 22-year-old Wellington Phoenix midfielder, and enjoyed a fantastic season, the first ever season for the Wellington Phoenix in the A-League women's competition. She was one of their driving forces and rewarded with her first call-up. She made her debut way back in 2018. It's just cap number 5 for her now. It's been a long time between drinks.
Yeah, we saw some really bright glimpses from Grace Jale throughout the Liberty A-League season with the Wellington Phoenix, a really exciting young player.
That's a good run from Rasso with Ford trying to bend it. Well, it's going to take something special from that kind of distance, and it was on target, but in the end, very academic for Victoria Essen. And to coin a phrase, it might well be Vine time.
Robbie, I think it is indeed Vine time, as we see Courtney Vine gearing up to come on for the last few minutes of this match. Whether or not it's enough for her to be effective, we've seen how much of a weapon she can be, particularly for Sydney FC, but now giving her opportunity with the Matildas.
While Grace Jail turns 23 in 2 days' time, we can also prepare to wish a very happy birthday in green and gold to Courtney Vine, who turns 24 tomorrow. A nice way for her to celebrate on a personal level. It could be even better, of course, if she can give herself and her country a nice little birthday gift in the final minutes of this one. Kennedy with Yallop. As you rightly said, she scored against the Kiwis in the Olympics. So did Sam Kerr. Caitlin Ford. Well played. Rasso back with Ford. Crosses in. It's dealt with by Bowen. And Collins gets it clear. Not for long. Comes back again. Nicely done, Catley. Yallop. Caitlin Ford again. The cross is deflected. Hayley Rasso with Gorry. Van Egmond. Gorry again. Looking for Carpenter. It was beautifully played. Oh, and Ellie Carpenter can't keep it in play. And you're going to see that substitution now. It's Hayley Rasso who's coming off, so it'll be like for like. Courtney Vine down that right wing, you'd imagine, for well, just a matter of seconds plus stoppage time.
And that's tough for Courtney Vine. It's not giving her a real opportunity to settle into the game. We know how potent she can be in really small spaces and I guess in small times as well, but that's a tall ask for Courtney Vine to come on and make a difference in an additional 5 minutes.
Well, that's good news, though, at least. 5 minutes of stoppage time, because against a tiring New Zealand backline, Courtney Vine may be able to exploit space. She is lightning quick. She's a powerful footballer. Ava Collins. Oh, we don't like to see those crosses coming in from impossible angles in this one. Gorry looking immediately for Courtney Vine. Well, you need to get the ball to her quickly. You need that space behind the defenders. The danger of Vine is what she can add in just pure pace. Here she is. It's going to be a goal kick. Well, corner. So the rub of the green for the Matildas.
Ali Riley has some objections to that. I think she was arguing there may have been one of those little double touches in there that saw that out for a goal kick, but Courtney Vine brings on that speed and that electricity with just a couple of minutes to show for it.
Catley with the ball in. Kennedy getting there, so close. The ball is there, bouncing around. Kerr as well. And she heads just wide. Well, she did well to get on the end of it, but she just couldn't direct it goalwards.
And yet again, another beautiful delivery by Steph Catley and a goalmouth scramble. And it's really the tale of the Matildas night to night. They're just unable to put this one away and into the back of the net.
Not since 1994 and a Wendy Sharp double have New Zealand defeated Australia in women's international football. Friendly or competitive? Is there such a thing as a friendly between these two countries? Certainly the challenges have been flying in. Steph Catley. Time running out for the Matildas. She delivers into the box towards Kennedy. Collins, here's Ford. Cross again, fantastic desperation from Jail. It was flying in to block that cross from Caitlin Ford.
It was a good delivery in the box from Steph Catley. Once again, Caitlin Ford just unable to make something too productive of that ball, and it is a rivalry rich in history. Robbie, in 27 years that the Matildas haven't lost to New Zealand, but with minutes just creeping away from them.
They've only won 9 of 48 previous matches as the cut back for Van Egmond. And in the 94th minute, Australia's persistence has paid off. An umpteenth run down the right wing from Ellie Carpenter. The presence of mind to cut the ball back. And at last, a clinical finish from the right boot of Emily Van Egmond.
Well, Emily Van Egmond, the midfield maestro, a technician, such a technician over the ball. And it was a beautiful cut back there from Ellie Carpenter. And again, another blistering run down that right-hand wing. And there's the equaliser for the Matildas. There's what they've been pushing for in these 90-plus minutes.
Well, she's been playing in that number 10 position, the number 10 that she wears on her back. Emily Van Egmond, her 29th international goal, and look out because here goes Vine. Into the area, good challenge from Claudia Bunge again.
Great challenge again there by Claudia Bunge. But we've seen the moments Courtney Vine has been on in just a few minutes. She has been so instrumental, but that is a beautifully timed challenge by Bunge.
She's had a great match. as well. The 5 minutes of stoppage time are up. This is the last chance. Catley delivers. It's a good ball in. It's there for Kerr! And she's done it! The late show is from the Matildas. The crowd in Townsville celebrate. It's heartbreak for the football ferns. Heartbreak for Victoria Essen, who's conceded 2 goals in less than 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes of the match, and Sam Kerr with her 57th international goal.
Well, who else but Sam Kerr, the all-time leading Australian goal scorer, nods it away in the dying seconds of this match. That is absolute heartbreak for the football ferns, but what a finish from the captain, what a finish from the Matildas.
Well, what a finish to this contest. Well, poor old Jitka Klimkova, the poor old football ferns, they will have a chance for revenge in 5 days' time, because these two sides will meet again next Tuesday in Canberra. A courageous performance from the Kiwis, who went ahead in the 32nd minute to Anna Green's miraculous goal. And just when it looked as though they were going to record an historic victory, Emily Van Egmond and Sam Kerr have found the goals to break New Zealand hearts again. It's finished in Townsville. Australia 2, New Zealand 1.
What a finish. The Matildas snatched the win from New Zealand. We all thought that New Zealand might have done enough to hold on for a famous victory. Andy Harper and Kayla Morrison join us. We're still shaking our heads. How did that happen?
Well, I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a sports fan watching that, Kayla, and you think Australia's going to lose this, and they probably shouldn't because of all the chances they've had. And it's turned out that New Zealand lose it, and the immediate emotion is they probably didn't deserve to lose that. The way they defended so brilliantly, so bravely. In the end, it was a bizarre piece of sporting theatre, and you're happy for the home team that they've been able to crack it for a win, finally.
Finally, I don't know if it was necessarily deserved. I don't think the girls should look back and think, wow, that was a 2-1 win, let's leave it at that. I think there's a lot more that needs to be unpacked within the team. As for New Zealand, I was actually really happy and proud of the performance, you know, they had that, they were going to put their body on the line. They were going to do what it takes to, you know, get to the end of that game. And I think the Matildas had that in the last 5 minutes, where New Zealand had that for 90 minutes. So maybe the Matildas can learn something from New Zealand, which is maybe something we didn't think at the start of this game.
Let's unpack some of what you've just touched on, Andy, because at the 90-minute mark, we were sort of thinking about a loss and what Tony Gustafsson should have done, perhaps, with his team tonight, because he spoke in the lead-up to this game about a lot of rotations, but we didn't see a lot of action off the bench this evening.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point back to which you draw us, Sappers, because you know, the Aussies dominated that match across every statistic. And again, at half-time, we said we don't need to see the stats page to reinforce the sheer dominance. But a team of the personnel, of the athletic prowess, the differential between Australia and New Zealand on those matters. Claire Polkinghorne, beautiful ball out to settle the match in the end. Fantastic from her, and well, this was the equaliser. And the two roommates, I mean, Sam and Emily have been roomies together for 10 years at national team level, and they're the two that get the goals here. But to the point, we should be comforted by the method by which Australia asserted their dominance. We shouldn't be surprised by it, right? So in one sense, that's nothing to necessarily crow about, because clearly the disparity between the teams is very obvious. But their inability to put them away was some luck, a lot of bravery, The goal here, Kaylee, you picked it. The goalkeeper had a lot of great moments, but coming off the line and set pieces, not a strong.
Was not her strength. No, I think, you know, maybe she is a little bit nervous and she's thinking see ball, get ball, keep it out of the net, when really it's leading to a wide open goal for these girls to finally put the ball away. And Sam, you know, she put it on her back. She got her head into kind of a dangerous tackle with another girl and was able to put the ball in the back of the net and win the game.
I'm intrigued by the reaction of the coach from that second
pressure,
goal.
mate. It's the pressure.
It was like he'd won a World Cup.
Yeah.
That come down to pressure?
Most certainly. I mean,
huge relief for him tonight.
He's listening already to the post-match discussion and how do I counter that? And you've said, you know, all the rotations, this and that and the other. Again, there wasn't a lot of variation. I mean, pre-game we talk about Mary Fowler. I don't know about whatever the sports scientists were telling him, but she needs to be running out these games. You know, this is part of her development. Alex Chidiac. Now, if Katrina Gorry presented any sort of benchmark today on the value of the W League as a bona fide, robust competition to prepare players for this level of football, Katrina Gorry shows that. So late in the game, when you're bashing your head against the wall, you can't get through, why not Alex Chidiac? What's she doing sitting on the pine? Let's see if the W League's done the same thing in the championship run for Alex Chidiac.
And I can guarantee you the W League has set her up perfectly for a game like this. She won the victory medal. She knows what she's doing. We were on a down when she came and she brought us back to the top. And I can almost say her presence alone was a complete shift, not only in the culture, but in the style of play, in the ability that we all had. So I think it's definitely disappointing that we didn't see her out on the field today.
Yeah, smiles from the coach tonight, yeah. But we talk about the pressure leading into this game and the confidence that you get when you do manage to get over the line. Because don't forget, we're coming off the back of losing in a quarter-final at the Asian Cup, a tournament we're expected to win.
Yes.
What does this win do in terms of the team's confidence, ability?
Only time will tell. But with respect to my soon-to-be compatriot, but her former mob, the Americans, they make a habit of doing one or two things in international football: steamrolling teams with their clear prowess, or finding a way to win the games that they don't look like winning. Now, this resembled that, but one hot day doesn't make a summer. And if this is the template, I don't particularly care. Yeah. We're not going to have not easy, that's disrespectful to New Zealand. They were brave and strong, but the disparity was obvious. You get into the World Cup matches, which is the focus, you're not going to have that sort of advantage. Yeah. So it's too early to tell. But a win can... It just covers a multitude of sins, and it's about building that habit, so credit where it's due, and let's see how they go from there.
I'd have to agree. I think good teams find a way. That's a model I've lived by. You know, sometimes you are the better team and you just can't get it done, but good teams find a way, and the Matildas did find a way to win it tonight. And I think that's something we can, you know, look forward to.
Let's head back to the stadium where Ben Hammerley now is with one of Australia's heroes, Caitlin Ford.
Yeah, Caitlin Ford, what a crazy game and what a result in the end for Australia.
Yeah, I mean, it was huge. I mean, that's what we're all about. We're always love a comeback, and that never-say-die attitude definitely came out tonight. And, yeah, it was just the belief that we're always going to win this game. No matter if there was 1 minute on the clock, 5 minutes, whatever it was, we knew we were going to get the job done today.
Did you feel like we were cursed at some stage? Victoria Essendon pulled off so many amazing saves. We had so many chances, but it just wouldn't go in until basically injury time.
Yeah, no, all credit to her. She was actually amazing tonight. And as you said, she pulled off some huge saves and it was difficult to get them by her. But, yeah, at the end, as I said before, it just took belief, and that's what happened tonight.
You had a great game. You took on the defenders and it was your 100th for Australia. What a phenomenal achievement. And what did the girls say to you in the end at the huddle there?
Yeah, I mean, they just said that it's a massive achievement and just congratulated me. And, yeah, it's a massive honour to put this jersey on 100 times and hopefully many more to come.
Yeah, congratulations. We look forward to watching you play many more for Australia.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. We've got Anna Green here from New Zealand. Well, a crazy game, and in the end, it was the opposite for Australia, for your team, because you led for so long and just lost it at the end.
Yeah, look, it's disappointing that we couldn't hold out and get a result, but I'm always proud of the girls. It's tough to come to Aussie and play in front of a crowd like this, but, you know, we gave it our all, and just look out for us on Canberra.
Well, you guys were Muhammad Ali tonight, on the ropes for so long, but it looked like you were going to land a knockout blow. There was a bit of a debate in commentary. Did you mean to shoot? Was it a cross? it's the result that counts.
Yeah, look, I'll give you this one because that's a bit of a rude question. Nah, I know I've got that in my locker, and now the Matildas do too. So yeah, I'm taking that as a shot.
It looked like a goal to me. How much are you looking forward to the rematch? And also, unfortunately, Ria Percival, we did see her limp out of the match. That's a big blow. Hopefully she's not that bad. What's the update?
Yeah, look, it's a big blow for us. Ria's an integral part of our team, but we've got a good squad. We've got a really strong squad now, but with a combination of older players and younger players. So I think we'll be good to go in Canberra, and hopefully we can just absorb her absence.
All right, well, congratulations on the fight tonight. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you.
We're just wheeling through players at the moment, and here is Emily Van Egmond. Emily, why do we do this to ourselves? Football is just such a crazy game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but, you know, credit to the girls. I thought we actually played really well tonight. Even though we went a goal down, we believed in ourselves, we believed in our principles, and, you know, we got the end result, which is really pleasing.
What was that feeling like when the goal finally went in after so many shots?
Yeah, obviously a huge relief, but we knew if we just stuck to our game plan, it was going to come like always, and, you know, we've been working on that and the belief in the squad, and, I mean, we showed that tonight, so credit to the girls, and, yeah, exciting to get the win.
It's a win in the end tonight, but we have been guilty of missing quite a few chances. Is there something going wrong up there? Do we need to work on some sharpness with the shooting?
No, look, I think it's just consistency. You know, we haven't been together now since the Asia Cup, so our first game back, you know, after a bit of a spell away. So good first game, and we'll look to build towards Canberra.
Okay, well played. We'll let you get to the fans, and thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bence. Pretty happy, the Matildas. Do you agree with Emily's assessment that they played well, they played really, and deserved the win tonight?
Yep. I mean, it's hard. You could take the emotion out of it, which is difficult as a fan. But, yeah, I mean, it was a totally dominant performance. This player on screen was amazing. Beautifully named child as well, I must say.
After you?
Oh, shucks. But, you know, it's hard to disagree. But, you know, a win changes the post-match discussion significantly. And whilst we're not being emotional about analysing the result, equally we must sort of peel back on, you know, OK, why do we get ourselves into such a pickle? And this is an established team. What we can't accept is any post-match comment from player, Emily in this case, or a coach, oh, you know, haven't played for a while, this, that and the other. Mate, there's 8 Centurions, 9 Centurions in this squad. 20 games ago, he pretty much narrowed... They know each other, right? And this is the international game. You get off the plane, Kayla, you're not introducing yourself to each other.
Yeah.
You might have that opportunity when you become an Aussie, but the point is they know each other. So that doesn't wash exactly. But they deserve to win.
I agree. I don't know if that is necessarily an excuse. I don't know if she was using it as an excuse. That's kind of a tough word. But, you know, maybe their legs were tired. Maybe it was this, maybe it was that. We can sit here guessing all day. We're really going to find out in the next game because there'll be no excuse then. They will have had a few days to be with each other, hang out, you know, get that camaraderie back, and they better have a really, really strong performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they got the win tonight. It was the late show in Townsville. Plenty more coming up after this break. We head back to Townsville and hear from some of the others who performed for the Matildas tonight in their 2-1 win over New Zealand.
Going once, twice, 3 times in a soul. Still was never good enough, only with the goal. Never take it slow, blink and you miss it. Just stay high.